What's up, everyone? It's Zach here with Jenna for the third video of this series about my life and talking about all the different aspects of disability and life experiences. In this video, we're going to talk about the later years. So, growing my early 20s, going to college, um, starting a company, developing an app, dealing with my father's cancer diagnosis and being his caregiver through hospice and his eventual passing. At age 19, I moved away from my family who was living in Missouri at the time. I couldn't stand Missouri. I was born and raised in Washington, and I felt like Washington was a better place to live. And I was right. I lived there for 13 years, and then my family moved down to Missouri in 2003, and we lived there. I lived there for like 5 years, and once I graduated high school, I moved back up to Washington. And I attended a couple different training things. I got certified in computer repair, and I started college once, and because of financial situations, ended up not completing it. At that time, I wanted to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and I wanted to go to school to do that. I wanted to go to med school and get my doctorate and all that. Then as I hit age 25, I realized that I could go to the Evergreen State College, which has always been a dream of mine. If you're not familiar, Evergreen is an ultra liberal college with no grades. If you take the right classes, you don't have to deal with grades. And then about halfway through my bachelor's, I realized like I don't want to be responsible for someone's mental health. I don't want to be responsible for giving someone the wrong advice and having their life go completely off the rails. And I just realized I wasn't responsible enough for that. And I realized that I wanted to start a company. I wanted to run a business. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to have the ability to make things better in the world. I studied with a professor named Scott Morgan, who helped me put together a team of students to develop an app called Reference Point Navigation, which, as I mentioned in my first video, is a navigation app for people with disabilities. It helps blind travelers get from point A to point B using step-by-step directions, and helps them read signs and get information that is available to the public that can see. And I spent a year and a half working to get that app developed, and it's currently in prototype stage, and we'll get more into that in a minute. I graduated college and realized that as a person with disabilities, my chances of getting a job were pretty slim. I had sent out hundreds of applications, and to this day, I'm still sending out applications, and I'm not getting jobs. So I started to focus on my company, Intrinsic Usability, and trying to get investors or people to invest in it so that we can finish developing reference point navigation to get it out to the consumer. And then the pandemic hit. And when COVID hit, everything shut down. Well, in January of 2020, I got a call from my dad. It was January 27th. And he got out one word. His word was, "Hey." And then he started crying. Now, when my dad cries, something's really wrong. I've never really seen my dad cry. He's never cried at my graduations. And I've tried to get him to cry at my graduations. He saw me graduate from college and high school and couldn't get an emotional reaction. All I got was a "good job, buddy." So when my dad cried on the phone, I knew something was wrong. And his girlfriend gets on the phone and says, "Hey, your dad was diagnosed with cancer today. We don't know how bad it is or what it is, but we do know he has it, and it's not looking good." So I jumped on a plane a couple days later because I didn't have enough money to get a ticket out that night. But I made it to Missouri on a Monday. And Tuesday, we went to the doctors, and they told him he had 6 months to live, and he was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. So at that point, I just went into care mode. My dad had always been there for me. He'd always sat at my bedside and when I was going through all the crap I went through, and helped me through it. So I felt like we'd come full circle. So I started helping him and take care of him. And eventually hospice was brought in, and I became his hospice care person. I gave my dad medicine to stop the pain but at the same time, that medicine also killed my dad. It's such a weird situation to be in. You want to help your parent be comfortable, and every time you give them the medication, you know that it's shutting down their system. Because at the time, my dad only had one operating kidney operating at 27% because of diabetes. So when you give someone that much opiates or that many opiates, it really shuts down their system.
Yeah.
They said he had 6 months to live. He passed away on March 15th. He only made it 6 weeks. And the last week he was non-responsive. He wasn't talking. He wasn't communicating. He just was laying in a bed, and he was just gone at that point. So that was probably one of the worst moments in my life. I can handle cancer and stuff when it's my situation, but when it's somebody else's situation, it's rough.
Yeah.
And once he passed away, I came back to Washington. I brought Oreo back with me because Oreo was staying with my dad. Oreo is the parrot on my shoulder. Yeah. Oreo had been with my dad while I was away at college. The last year has been kind of recovering from the loss of my dad and using his life insurance to try to get intrinsic usability up and running and to do some good with it. And that leads me to social engagement. I had been trying to get my voice heard. I'd been trying to spread awareness about my company, and nothing was working. And then my friend Lacey suggested I get on TikTok, and I had been against TikTok. I was like, oh, it's just an app. It's a phase. No one's like gonna really care about it. And boy, was I wrong. I started TikTok. My first video was a dumb, jokey video about Canadian night crawlers. And my second video was about me and Oreo. And I explained who I was and who Oreo was and how we're disability buddies because he's missing his right foot and I'm totally blind, and how we take care of each other. And within the first week, I was at 1,000 followers. And 2 months later, I think a month and a half later, I'm sitting at 17,000 followers.
Wow.
Actually, no, I apologize. 18,000 followers as of this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it's greatly increased. Because of my following on TikTok, I've donated money to charities. I donated $100 and something to Seattle Children's Hospital. I donated another 140 to pancreatic cancer research. And when I hit 20,000 followers, I'm going to donate some money to a parrot rescue.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm able to get my voice out. I'm able to give other people a platform to speak about the things that they want to talk about. And I'm building a community and hopefully finding a way to make an income to start getting Reference Point completed. Our GoFundMe has raised $216 so far, which is cool. You can find out more about the GoFundMe at intrinsic.usability.com. That's INTRINSICUSABILITY.com. Or you can go to disabilitybuddies.com as well. So yeah, that's kind of a 3-part series on my life, and more videos will go into greater detail about individual topics, but I wanted to kind of get these videos out to let people know who I am and what I'm about and what this channel is going to look like. And
I'm sure it wasn't the easiest thing to start doing, though. I mean, like, to share, because it can be vulnerable to share a lot of detail about your life and like what you've been going through, And so, what kind of brought you to the point where you felt like you wanted to share?
I just got tired of keeping it inside. I got so upset when I would see people dismiss the struggles. We have a lot of conflict in this world. We have racism, we have discrimination, and we have a lot of people that are undergoing all these struggles, but they're not getting their voices heard. And I'm a loud, obnoxious, in-your-face kind of person, So, but I do it in a way that is good. I'm not out there trying to be the next like millionaire or whatever. I just wanted to get my story out there. I wanted to talk about it because I can't afford therapy. So for me, talking to people and sharing my experiences and listening to other people's stories and experiences and either on or around the same topics was really therapeutic. when I speak about these things, people seem to open up more to me about their experiences.
Mm.
And so that was awesome. I always love to understand different perspectives and aspects of the world. I never truly judge people unless what they're saying or doing is harming other people. So for me to have a platform to engage with people is important. I never realized how important that was until recently. So this has been a great experience, and it's been a tough one because you're right. You are vulnerable. I grew up with a sarcastic family. So for me, you can be mean and troll me all you like. It ain't gonna bother me because I know deep down you have the reason that you're hating on me or you're trolling is because you're insecure or you just aren't taking the time to understand something. And I
Mm.
know that because as a teenager, I trolled the internet.
Hmm.
I was an asshole going around being mean to people. But over the years, I've done enough self-awareness and self-analysis that I understand that about myself, and
Mm.
I've changed and I've adopted a more open-minded personality. There's always time and always the ability to grow and change and shape yourself to a more humanized person.
Yeah, and I love that about the concept of sharing stories and being open with each other is like it does humanize people because you like people without even knowing so many different people could relate to different parts of what you shared too without having the exact same experience, and
Yeah.
that's pretty cool too.
Yep. I hope you like, subscribe, and share this content. Follow Jenna and I on our different platforms. You can follow me on TikTok at Zackery Hertz, just like the YouTube channel. You can check out my website, disabilitybuddies.com, which it talks about Oreo and I. And you can check out my company's website, intrinsicusability.com. And you can find Jenna.
Yeah, if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can check out my website. It's jennamasonmedia.com. And my Instagram handle is also at Jenna Mason Media.
Thank you for watching. Take care, y'all.